Kerr 9000's game room.
So I first played the original Streets of Rage back on the Mega Drive in the 90s when it came out. And I remember waiting for Streets of Rage 2 with bated breath. You see, I'd loved the first one. I'd played through it so many times with my brother, and there was so much I loved about it. The characters, the special moves where police cars came skidding to a stop and rocket launched your enemies from afar. It was a truly awesome game. I got the second one before it was even out in England. Got a Japanese copy of it with its Japanese name Bare Knuckle 2. And for me, that game was one of the top pinnacle, best of the best walk-along beat-em-ups. Very little could compare to it. I remember renting the third one when it came out, and yeah, in a way it's a slight step back from the second, but I still think it's a cracking game. And I'm lucky enough to now own Streets of Rage 1, 2 and 3. And what's more than that, I picked up number 3 for £35 from a retro game store. And at the time, it was pretty rare, but it's a heck of a hard game to get now. So you can only imagine that when Streets of Rage 4 was announced, I was absolutely over the moon. And I've been watching every single video where they've announced new characters, and I've generally consumed every bit of information I can get on this game. Every time it's hit the news in various online websites, I've been there reading the fine print, trying to find out more, mining it for little mentions of stuff. And now they've announced that the game is going to have a retro mode with retro sound effects and music, retro graphics, bringing it in line with what it probably would be like if it had came out immediately following the third entry. And from watching the footage, you can see that there's Streets of Rage 1 versions of characters playable, Streets of Rage 2 versions of characters, and I even noticed when zooming in on some of the footage that Shiva, an unlockable character in Streets of Rage 3, has actually made the cut. Streets of Rage 3 tended to get a bit of a bum rap as being a step backwards, but I enjoyed it. Yeah, it wasn't quite up to the heights of Streets of Rage 2, but there's some interesting things in it, like unlockable characters. There was Shiva, and in the Japanese version there was a really weird stereotype gay sailor character who just has to be seen to be believed. I severely doubt he'll be making any returns to the series with the changes the world has undergone between then and now. But I just wanted to make this video to give my initial impressions on what we've seen of Streets of Rage 4. It looks amazing. As a fan of the series, I just can't wait to get my hands on it. The chance to not only play it with the new graphics and new characters, but to also play with the old music, old style graphics, old characters. This game looks like it's going to be the absolute perfect package for any Streets of Rage fan. In fact, I am even considering ordering one of the limited edition physical copies of the game, which is something I'm not that big on these limited print runs, but owning Streets of Rage 1, 2, 3, I really feel like I'd like to add 4 to the lineup and be able to stick them all on a shelf. Whether I buy the real game or not, I am certainly downloading this game the second I can, and I can't say any more enthusiastically that I am really looking forward to this game, and I have nothing but the highest of hopes for it. This is Kerr 9000 signing off. Keep on gaming.